It's time now for the program Mustang Reflections with news and views from the Paxton High School, brought to you this morning by the First National Bank in Paxton and also Rose's Market.
The 1973 homecoming queen will also be announced at the pep rally. Candidates are Cindy Carden, Shelley Koffler, Susie J. Johnson, and Susie Diamond. The band will have a few specials, and the winning floats will be announced at this time. The parade lineup begins at 6:30 p.m., and the parade will begin at 7 o'clock. So be sure and get uptown and not miss any of the excitement. And then to end the evening, a bonfire will be held at Memorial Field. Shopping for something new in the world of sound? Take a close look and listen and view from RCA at Electronic Service Center in Paxton. All Mustang gals and guys, moms and dads, know RCA. And know that Electronic Service Center is the place to get that good deal. RCA Television, the complete line from the small portables to the beautiful console models. Both color and black and white. Card outfits for home and car, phonos, and all the other goodies in the sound world from RCA. Yours from Electronic Service Center, where they always service what they sell. Stop by, okay?
And now, Dark Lady by Cher.
I think we got a bad needle there, folks. We'll try it on the other side, okay?
Thursday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. Library Club meeting, homeroom in room 201. Student Council meeting, homeroom in room 125. Weightlifting, 7:30 in the gym. Gymnastic practice, 7 o'clock in the gym. GAA, 3:30, bowling. Well, that's about all for Mustang Reflections for today, and this is Jim Reppert and Ted Ostendorf, hoping you'll listen next week. So long. Next Wednesday, the band will be selling blacklight candles to raise money for a tour they hope to make later this year. 3 of the candles will glow under a black light and come in the designs of a geometrical 3D pattern, zodiac, and 4th figurine. The 4th model has a patriotic design. All come in a vanilla scent and will burn up to 100 hours. They are also refillable with any color of wax with any fragrance. They make ideal gifts, and they only cost $2.60. Remember, this is Wednesday only and can only be obtained through any band member. Be sure to get yours. Student Council officer sign-ups were held this past week. Potential candidates for the offices of President, Vice President, Secretary, and Treasurer had Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to sign up and fill their petitions. At the deadline, 4 people had signed up for the offices. Marcy Epps is a presidential candidate, Teresa Tucker, Vice President, Ruth Moore, Secretary, and Kippy Hoover, Treasurer. All the candidates are juniors. Speeches were given Thursday, and the elections will be held on Monday.
And now, a community service announcement from Hudson Drug Shop, downtown Paxton. They remind you that the upcoming vote on the Paxton Hospital referendum will be next Saturday, April 6th. It is the opinion of the Hudson Drug Shop that a yes vote for the hospital referendum would be in the community interest, and they urge you to vote yes. And remember, if you are 18 years of age and meet the other requirements, you are eligible to vote in this election next Saturday, April 6th. This announcement has been paid for by Hudson Drug Shop and does not necessarily reflect the views of this person.
Saturday, April 6th. Spring play practice, 7 to 9 p.m. in the gym, and band contest, 2 p.m. in Piper City.
That brings us to the end of this Saturday show. Even though it's cold outside, I hope there's a warm spot in your heart. See ya.
Have a second. Bye. Girls and 2 alternates were named for the Letter Girl Squad on Tuesday, March 4th. They were announced by sponsor Melanie Neiman. The girls were evaluated on character and personality, poise, smile and appearance, overall impression, marching, Letter Girl routine, and impromptu routine. Those chosen from the 25 girls who tried out were juniors Melody Bell, Linda Breger, Anita Cabbage, Kathy Calhoun, Tammy Carlton, and Cindy Nuss. Sophomores making the squad were Cindy Abel, Paula Bell, Donna Burgess, Sue Cox, and Debbie Whitaker. Freshman Patty Gronemeyer completes the squad. Alternates are sophomore Melissa Roy and freshman Ann Suslovich.
Teams of FFA students will be judging crops, meat, and milk products today at the U of I. Each school in Section 17 can bring one team consisting of 3 people for each of the 3 areas which will be judged. Paxton teams will be given A, B, or C ratings as individuals and teams on the way they judge their area. The teams judging milk and meat products that receive first place will be eligible for national competition. Crops vary too much throughout the country, so there will be no national competition for this area.
The dog sale held at the Hudson Drug Shop this week proved to be an amazing success. There are still a few of those dogs around, so stop by Hudson Drug Shop today. And here's something else from the Hudson Drug Shop. A new shipment of Polaroid sunglasses, 2 racks, and the very latest styles. Mention WRTL Radio and Hudson Drug Shop will give you 10% off regular price. Keep in mind, these are new Polaroid sunglasses. Yours at 10% off if you mention WRTL Radio. Hudson Drug Shop, downtown Paxton, is a good place to trade. The dog sale proved that for many. This concludes another Saturday Mustang Reflections show on WRTL Radio about Paxton High School. Until next Saturday at 9:05, this is Jim Reppert
And Gary Coleman.
hoping that you have a great week. So long.
This morning from Paxton, we have Jim Reppert. Is that right, Jim? Reppert. Okay, now we're together. And Trudy Johnson. Did I pronounce that right, Trudy? Okay, and we're going to turn it over to them with some good music for the next 25 minutes. Take it away, Jim and Trudy.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our 4th season of Mustang Reflections here on WRTL Radio. I'm Jim Reppert.
And I'm City Johnson.
We've got all of the latest news from Paxton High School to tell you about. But before we start the show this morning, we at PHS wish to thank the Paxton merchants who sponsor the program in cooperation with the High School Student Council. Without their conscientious support, this show wouldn't go on the air. Thanks a lot, merchants. Last night, the Paxton Mustangs won their 2nd straight football encounter of 1975 by defeating the Monticello Sages 14-0 at Monticello. Defense was a big part of this game, as Paxton effectively shut off the Sages' offensive attack. Last Friday night, the Mustangs opened their fall campaign with a 40-0 shellacking of St. Anne at Paxton. Next week, the Mustangs open their Wasp Conference schedule with a trip to Danville and take on the Florida Hilltoppers, where they will try to beat their record on London. The Bismarck Invitational will be held at 10 a.m. today at Bismarck-Henning High School, where the Paxton Harriers will run in both the varsity and frosh-soft divisions. We hope to improve on our 5th place finish in the Paxton Invitational, remarked Coach Fred Guy. 19 teams are entered in the race this year. Paxton finished 2nd last year behind St. Anne.
Trials for the fall play, Done to Death, were held September 16th through 18th after school. The play, a mystery comedy, contains various movie styles. A group of authors together to add a mystery. Done to Death has a surprise ending. The main cast consists of Jessica Olive, Whitney Olive, Mildred Z, Maxwell, Brad Benedict, Rodney Ducton, Jason Summers, Stagehand, Jane, and Gregory. There are 35 members total in cast and crew.
Somewhere, lurking through the halls of Paxton High, is a terrible rumor that snipe is in season. This past Saturday night, a safari expedition traveled into the jungle west of Paxton to capture this most elusive bird. As of yet, no word has been given on the success of that safari, but officials are anxiously awaiting word on the matter. The 1975-76 version of the Paxton High School speech team is already taking shape. Sign-ups for the squad were held in speech coach Mrs. Stinnett's office all this week. Depending when practice starts, the team will enter competition for the first time this fall, either at the Rantoul Invitational on November 24th or at the speech contest at Leroy December 13th. Last year's team was the most successful ever at PHS. They won district and sectional speech contests both, and Cindy Uppelheimer was state champion in dramatic interpretation.
The English Lit Club is already busy earning money. They are selling candy bars and are making plans already for the magical banquet which will be held December 5th and 6th in the cafeteria. Sponsor Mrs. Beer is optimistic for an Easter trip to England.
Here now are the amazing Rhythm Acers with their Rate Rolling. On Thursday, boys cross country with Georgetown there at 4:30 p.m. Representatives from Millikan University will be here to see juniors and seniors interested in going to Millikan.
Girls tennis at Rantoul at 4 p.m. Play rehearsal 7 to 9 p.m. in the gym. Student council homeroom in room 125 at 8:20 a.m. Library club homeroom in the library. And on Friday, football with Hersher, 5:45 and 8 p.m. there. National Honor Society homeroom in room 210. And on Saturday, the Walk for Mankind will be held. Boys cross country with Unity, the Frostroff Invitational at 4 p.m. there. And girls tennis at Fisher at 9 a.m.
That just about wraps up the show for today. Now speaking for Jim Reppert and everybody at PHS, we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast, and we also hope that you tune in next Saturday morning at 9:05 for more of the Mustang Reflections. Until then, take good care of yourselves and have a good week. So long, everybody.
Buenos días, mis amigos.
A little at the end, huh? 26 minutes past 9 o'clock, and I have just one word for this outstanding Paxton Reflections. Quality name brands at the lowest possible prices, plus a huge selection. That's at Rose's Apparel in Gibson City. It seems we have lost our host for the Paxton Mustang Reflection. I can't see, where is he? Ah, here he comes. Close the door, will you?
You'll have to excuse me, I was occupied. Thursday night is the homecoming parade at Paxton. The parade starts at 6:30 p.m. at the high school and will wind its way up through Main Street and back to the school. Then at the football field, yours truly has the honor of announcing the winners in the float competition and announcing the 1975 PHS homecoming queen. Coach Henderson and AFS student Jacques Bisler from Luxembourg will also give remarks at the pep rally and ensuing bonfire. So come on into Paxton Thursday night and enjoy the homecoming festivities. Work will begin soon on the Thespian Spook House at the junior high school. This is built every year as a fun and profitable project for the PTA Halloween Carnival, which will occur later this month. Spook House workers also receive Thespian points for the efforts. On Wednesday, GAA homeroom in room 122. On Thursday, boys cross country with Watsika here at 4:30 p.m. Girls tennis with Watsika there at 4:30 p.m. Library club homeroom in room 201. Student council homeroom in room 124 at 8:20 a.m. And the homecoming parade will be held Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. On Friday, it's homecoming. Football with Watsika here at 5:45 and 8 p.m. The pep rally in the gym at 3 p.m. English Flip Club meeting homeroom in room 122. On Saturday, the homecoming dance will last from 8 to 11 p.m. Girls district tennis at Danville. Boys cross country. The conference meet at St. Anne. And play practice from 8 to 1 in the gym. That just about wraps up the show for today. Now speaking for everyone at PHS, this is Jim Reppert. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast, and we also hope that you'll tune in again next Saturday morning at 9:05 for more of Mustang Reflections. Until then, take good care of yourselves and have a great week. So long, Lisa. Gosh, I'm really humbled. Thanks a lot. Last night, the Paxton Mustangs tangled with the Watsika Warriors in the PHS annual homecoming game. Watsika came into the game with impressive credentials. They were unbeaten in 6 games so far this season, leading everyone in the Watsika Conference, and are ranked number 5 in the state in a small high school football poll. All of that changed last night as the Mustangs knocked off the Warriors 12-0. It was by far the best game for Paxton this season, and once again the Mustang defense was very impressive in collecting their 4th shutout of the season. Next week, Paxton travels to Hoopston to take on the Corn Zerkers and try to up their current 5-2-1 loss record with a victory. The sophomore game starts at 5:45, while the varsity encounter follows at 8 p.m.
The PHS sophomores lost their second game last night. Next action for them will also be next week at Hoopston. The Sox current record now stands at 4 wins and 2 losses. That just about wraps up the show for today. This is Trudy Johnson.
And Jim Reppert.
We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
We also hope that you'll tune in again next Saturday morning at 9:05 for more of Mustang Reflections. Until then, take good care of yourselves and have a great week. So long, everybody.
And there they go. This is Congo line or something from Brazil, done through by the Richard family.
Bye.
You've been listening to Mustang Reflections, a program from the students at Paxton High School.
GAA held a Sarah Coventry party on October 30th at 7 p.m. The girl sold $1,000 worth of jewelry and will get over $150 in profits. The Halloween party was held right after. Two of the games played were passing a lifesaver from person to person on toothpicks held in their teeth and hopping across the room with newspaper held between the ankles. Competition was between two teams, and those on the winning team got candy bars. Costumes were judged and prizes awarded accordingly. Sally Haynes was most original. The funniest ones were Melody Bell and Jan Berkey. Scariest were Sharon Mize and Petty Gronemeyer. The members brought the refreshments for the party. They played volleyball until the end. Next GAA activity is a slumber party to be held November 14th. The FFA gave parliamentary procedure on how to hold office on council at the Student Council Workshop, which was held at PHS last Saturday. The representatives from Paxton brought 24 cookies to feed the over 80 people who attended the workshop. The event began at 9 a.m. and ended around 1 p.m.
Call around here Mustang Reflections. You know what that's all about? It's a program about the news and views from Paxton High School. And here now is your host. And hostess? Oh, we got two people today, huh, Jim? Oh, you're not doing a solo. Here's your host, the main guy, Big Jim.
Good morning, and welcome once again to Mustang Reflections, the show from Paxton High School that tells you what is going on in the halls of PHS. I'm Jim Reppert.
And I'm Susan Woodward.
During the next 25 minutes, we'll be playing some good music for you and telling you what's been happening at school. So why don't you sit back and relax for a while? Starting off the program this morning are the Spinners with Games People Play. Speech contests are rapidly approaching, and speech contest coach Barbara Stinnett has been working to get her squad ready for the first contest of the year, which will be held at Leroy on December 13th. Assisting her is play director Rhonda Warback, who at one time was a student teacher for Mrs. Stinnett. The thespians are currently selling stationery and another money-making project for their organization. The stationery consists of a giant poster, note cards, letters, and paper for the letter writers. There are 4 styles to choose from. The cost for all of this is just $3.15. You can order some of these from any thespian member.
The English Lit Club is also selling merchandise. Besides selling Catherine Bite candy bars, they are selling crates of fruit for Christmas. They are surprisingly inexpensive. You can get details from any English Lit member.
Guidance counselor Norm Henderson has newspapers in his office right now that many college-bound juniors and seniors will want to take a look at. The newspaper is called Illinois Decision, and it takes a close look at all of the major colleges and universities in Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin. Mr. Henderson still has many copies of Illinois Decision available if you want one.
FFA sponsor Carl Berkebile and 6 FA members came home last weekend from the National Convention in Kansas City, Missouri. They listened to many nationally known politicians and other speakers. The Paxton FFA chapter also received the FFA gold emblem there. One of the sightseeing stops was at the 80,000-seat Arrowhead Stadium, home of the National Football League Kansas City Chiefs.
Yesterday was the last day for PHS seniors to choose their forms of graduation announcements. They chose what kinds of cards, announcements, and scrapbooks they wanted. A $5 fee was paid when ordering. You pay the balance of your fee after receipt of your order from the company.
That just about wraps up the show for today. This is Susan Woodward.
And Jim Reppert.
We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
We also hope that you'll tune in again next Saturday morning at 9:05 for more of Mustang Reflections. Until then, take good care of yourselves and have a nice Thanksgiving. So long, everybody. The 1975 Christmas Queen candidates were chosen by their classes last Wednesday, November 19th. Seniors are Lori Watkins, Sue Vandiver, and Kim Eichelberger. Junior candidates are Melissa Roy and Brenda Polson. Sophomores include Beth Kitchens and Rena Wilson, and freshmen are Penny Burnett and Peggy Mikeworth. There are 3 senior candidates because of a tie in the voting. The winner will be announced at the beginning of a Christmas parade, December 6th at 2 p.m. in Paxton. I was used to eating much more and better food. That's how Paxton's AFS student Jacques Bitchler replied when asked when he thought of American food. We don't have hamburgers in Luxembourg, and the people there care more about eating. They work harder at preparing a meal, and it is much more tastier to me. A lot of things I eat here come from cans or are frozen, and are virtually prepared for you instead of started from scratch. A typical Sunday dinner in Luxembourg would start out with a martini for an appetizer, and then a small buffet-type salad bar consisting of different kinds of meats and such, then a soup, potatoes, salads, meat with tomatoes, and vegetables and gravy, and at the end of the meal, a dessert. The traditional American teenage diet of hamburgers and french fries may differ from Jock's, but other foods don't differ that much. He said the food here in general is not that different. It's just fixed differently. The Paxton Mustang basketball squad opened up their 1975-76 season this week. In the season opener on Tuesday night, they played Herscher and lost to the Tigers 58-46. Last night, they took on the Westville Comets and lost the game 46-44. The high scores for Paxton in the Herscher contest were John Overstreet and Jerry King, who both came off the bench to score 13 points apiece. Stan Gibson added 6 points. High scores last night in the Westville game were Gibson with 16 points and King had 11. Tonight, Paxton travels to Georgetown to face the Buffaloes in a Wasca League contest. The sophomore game begins at 6:30, while the varsity encounter follows at 8 p.m. The Madrigal Banquet at PHS will be held this Saturday and Monday nights in the PHS cafeteria. An English-style dinner will be served, and medieval types of entertainment will be presented at this dinner. This full evening of food and song can be yours for only $6.50 a ticket. You can still pick up a ticket to the Madrigal Banquet from any English Lit Club member.
Paxton High School will be getting 16 days for Christmas vacation this year. PHS will resume classes on January 5th, bright and early Monday morning.
The annual Paxton Christmas Parade was held Saturday afternoon, with senior Kim Eichelberger reigning as Miss Merry Christmas and second grader Tracy Hofer reigning as Little Miss Merry Christmas. Other Miss Merry Christmas candidates who rode in the parade were Lori Watkins and Sue Vandiver, seniors, juniors Melissa Roy and Brenda Polson, sophomores Beth Kitchens and Rena Wilson, and freshmen Peggy Burnett and Penny Mykeworth. Walking figurines, floats, and Santa Claus were also featured in the parade along with the Paxton High School marching band. Commercial float winners were Switchcraft, Paxton Daycare Center, West Lawn, and religious float winner, the Evangelical Covenant Church. Winners in the figurine contest were Pat Jamison, Julia Behrens, Doug Vanderpool, Colleen Nelson, and Tom Johnson. Since this is a Christmas season, we thought it would be appropriate to play some of that beautiful Christmas music for you. Here's Jingle Bells in a way you may never have heard it before.
Team at Paxton High School has opened its 1975-76 season with a mixed success so far. The A squad currently holds a record of 2-2, while the B team sports a 2-1 ledger to date. According to freshman coach John Singh, his team has played evenly. We can't get the same players to perform the same way every game, and a different player steps in and does the job. The first A squad has defeated Fisher and Milford while losing to Cisna Park and Watsika. In the Fisher contest, Paxton came back from a 15-2 deficit to win the game. The B team has beaten Cisna Park and Watsika while losing only to Fisher. Singh also commented on his thoughts of his teams. We played on and off. If the A team wins and the B team loses, or the B team wins, A will get beaten. We need more consistency. The PHF as frost squads will get back into Christmas action after vacation.
Here are the Bay City Rollers with Saturday Night.
I'm going home.
PHS Mental Health Club members were reminded there is more to Christmas than presents and Christmas trees. They visited with the elderly people living at the Ford County Nursing Home on Monday, December 15th. 30 members brought refreshments and songs to serve them as they served cookies, Kool-Aid, and caroled through the halls. Sophomore Rich Coffee dressed up as Santa Claus and asked them what they wanted for Christmas.
That just about wraps up the show for today. This is Trudy Johnson.
And Jim Reppert.
We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
We also hope that you'll tune in again when Mustang Reflections is back on the air. We'll be back on Saturday, January 11th, 1976 at 9:05 for more of Mustang Reflections. We're going to be taking a little Christmas break. Until then, we at PHS hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So long, everybody. The AFS Club at Paxton High is entering its second year under sponsor Rick Renquist. The main purpose of the organization is to help adjust the lifestyle of the PHS foreign exchange student to their new American environment. The PHS AFS student this year is Jacques Fitzler of Luxembourg. The Paxton freshman basketball squads get back into action next week as they play 3 games. Frost coach John Sang says that even though his teams have played unevenly, they are doing well overall so far this season. Today, the GAA at PHS will go on their annual ski trip. Despite an occasional spill or two by the girls and sometimes broken bones, this activity is one of the most enjoyed by the girls. Some of their programs they like besides the ski trip are the all-night camp out in the high school gym and GAA Mom's Night and Daddy Date Night. Getting on the road by 5:30 a.m. and traveling over icy roads all seemed worth it to every team member when the Casey High School principal announced that Paxton had finished first. This came from speech coach Barbara Stinnett in discussing the sweepstakes trophy won by the individual events team last Saturday at Casey, Illinois. The 15-school tournament included second place Decatur MacArthur, third-ranked Belleville West, and host school Olney fourth. We went south to meet Mattoon, Charleston, Olney, Effingham, and other teams which we usually don't compete against until the IHSA sectional, Stinnett explained further. Assistant Rhonda Rohrbach is also coaching this year's 24-member team. First place individual trophies were won by Cindy Rose in oration, Jim Reppert in radio speaking, and Linda McKelvey and Dawn Copley in dramatic duet acting. Receiving certificates were second place John Stockman in extemp, Lisa Gritton second in dramatic and turf, Tom Johnson and Patty Bachman second in humorous duet acting, Stan Gibson third in original comedy, Susan Woodworth fourth in radio speaking, Dawn Copley fourth in humorous interpretation, Mary Eggleston fifth in verse, Marita Husted fifth in humorous interp, Susan Gustafson sixth in oratorical declamation, and Debbie Winokur and Anna Snelling sixth in humorous duet acting. Team members competing in preliminary rounds but not qualifying for the finals were Melissa Roy, Jim DeShazer, Mark Rakowski, Becky Smith, Debbie Rakowski, Christy Stadler, Linda Stockman, and alternate Jeff Sennert. The next team outing will be at the Chenoa Invitational next Saturday, January 24th.
The Paxton FFA chapter is presently selling Vitality Garden Seeds and another money-raising project for the organization. Sponsor Carl Berkebile has announced that the chapter will be canvassing the Paxton neighborhood looking for sales. Also on hand are supplies of Goodway rat bait, which were left over from the fall sales of the product.
The annual Ford County Heart Fund drive will be getting underway soon. In cooperation with the County Heart Fund Committee, the PHS Student Council is going to help with the fundraising drive. On February 15th, a Sunday, Paxton Student Council members will be in Paxton asking for donations. When called upon, please give generously. Remember that every dollar helps, and also remember that your donations, no matter how large or small, are tax deductible. On Saturday, the speech team will be at University High School at Normal for a speech invitational.
That just about wraps up the show for today. This is Trudy Johnson.
And Jim Reppert.
We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
We also hope that you'll tune in again next Saturday morning at 9:05 for more of Mustang Reflections. Until then, take good care of yourselves and have a great week. And until the next morning shift rolls around, so long, everybody.
That about summarizes what we have to say for FFA week. I would like to mention one more thing. Our FFA chapter is looking for a plot for us to farm. The plot will be used for demonstrating different varieties of corn and herbicide. If possible, we would like it to be around 30 acres or more. Anyone having any information concerning a plot of ground, contact any Paxton FFA member or contact our advisor, Mr. Carl Berkebile at the high school.
At this time, I would like to thank Jim for letting us have some time on this program. I will turn the program back to you, Jim.
Thank you very much, Joe and Mark, for that interesting information. That just about wraps up the show for today. Now speaking for everyone at PHS, this is Jim Reppert. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast, and we also hope that you'll tune in again next Saturday morning at 9:05 for more of Mustang Reflections. Until then, take good care of yourselves and have a great week. And don't forget to celebrate FFA week. So long, everybody.
It's 9:05. It's time now for Mustang Reflections, a program about the news and views from Paxton High School, presented by the following Paxton merchants who are interested in the youth of the community. The First National Bank of Paxton and also Rose's Market. Here now is your host for this morning's program, who I understand placed second in the state for radio speaking or for the district? You placed second in radio speaking in district. Did you win anything besides a certificate? You won a medal. Oh, isn't that wonderful? So with a medal and 20 cents, you can go and buy a cup of coffee. A candy bar. Okay. Here's your host, Jim Reppert.
Good morning and welcome once again to Mustang Reflections, the show from Paxton High School that tells you what's going on in the halls at PHS. I'm Jim Reppert. We've got a lot of news and good music for you to listen to during the next 25 minutes, so why don't you sit back and relax for a while. Starting off today's program are the Bee Gees singing about their fanny. Paxton High School competed at the Bloomington Sectional Speech Tournament last Saturday and came home with one squad member qualifying for state finals. Stan Gibson won first place in original comedy and received the right to go on to state. Others from Paxton making final rounds but not going on to state were Cindy Rose in oration fourth and Jim Reppert in radio speaking fifth. Team members who participated in preliminary rounds but not advancing to finals were Tom Johnson and Patty Bachman in humorous duet acting, John Copley and Linda McKelvey in dramatic duet acting, Lisa Gritton in dramatic interpretation, Mary Eggleston in verse, and Melissa Roy in extemporaneous speaking. Gibson will now prepare for the state finals, which will be held at Bradley University in Peoria on March 26 and 27, with coaches Barbara Stinnett and Rhonda Rohrbach and team members accompanying him. The Paxton High School speech team traveled to Bradley University in Peoria this past weekend to watch the state finals in speech competition. Among the competitors in state finals was Stan Gibson of Paxton, who competed in original comedy. Stan's speech was entitled The Revolutionary Game. Gibson finished ninth in the state in his category. Others who contested for awards from the WRTL listening area included Joe Potagrossi of Rantoul, who placed fifth in humorous interpretation, and Laura Mitchelson of Normal Community High School, who won the state championship in oratorical declamation. Paxton High School was evaluated last week by a group of area teachers and officials. It was part of an evaluation conducted by the North Central Association, which looks into curriculums and other activities in random schools throughout Illinois for their effectiveness. The final reports on PHS aren't in yet, but Paxton High Principal William Wiley has indicated that the evaluation report looks to be a good one. The evaluation team interviewed both teachers and students while conducting their study at PHS. Most people think of the Easter Bunny, eggs, and religion for their opinions of Easter. However, a group of Paxton High students will have their thoughts on fish and chips and Shakespeare. 12 English Lit Club members will accompany PHS art teacher Carol Wally and sponsor Mrs. Mary Beer across the Atlantic Ocean to England and France. They left yesterday from Chicago to start their vacation. While in England, they will visit the Tower of London, Westminster Abbey, Windsor Castle, and Shakespeare's home. They also plan to visit the countries of Belgium and France before leaving Paris on April 18th to return to the United States. The English Lit Club raised over $3,000 in funds so they could take this trip. Last Tuesday night, the Mustang Booster Club of Paxton presented a petition to the reorganized Paxton School Board. The petition, which contained over 1,100 signatures, asked the board for another tax referendum before May 24th. A successful passage of the referendum would provide enough money to reinstate some extracurricular activities at PHS. The Booster Club has been collecting signatures since the school board made budget cutbacks in March, which eliminated all extracurricular activities, including sports. The board will decide whether or not to hold another referendum at their next meeting on April 27th. Practice continues next week for the Spring Mime Show to be held at PHS on April 30th and May 1st. Play director Rhonda Rohrbach is directing the mime troupe for the various acts which they will perform on stage. The cast, made up mostly of freshmen and sophomores, will be starting their fifth week of practice on Monday. The troupe is currently working on facial and bodily movements so they can convey the meaning of their mimes to their audience. The only sounds that will be made during the performances will be music that accompanies a certain mime or action that is made by a member of the cast. For those students at PHS who haven't taken the time to buy a yearbook yet, here's your chance. During the lunch hours weekdays at Paxton, you can go to either the lobby or to room 209 and purchase the Paxton yearbook, The Reflector, from staff members or from sponsor Mrs. Hutchins. A reflector costs only $8.75 and can be paid for by cash, check, or on an installment plan. Mrs. Hutchins has her staff ready and waiting for your order now. They'll be selling these yearbooks until the end of the school year at Paxton. Here are Johnny and Marie Osmond, otherwise known as the Doublemint Twins, with some Deep Purple.
off today's program is Peter Frampton with Show Me the Way.
What in the blaze is happening now? Look, it ain't sound in here. Why can't you use all? I wonder how you feel. There's ringing in my ears. Ridiculous. And no one to relate to, except to see.
The annual Paxton High School prom takes place tonight at the Rantoul Moose Lodge beginning at 8 p.m. The prom was moved to the lodge from the PHS gym because the junior class which sponsors this event felt that a change in surroundings might attract more people to this formal dance. A new addition to the prom this year is that a sit-down dinner will be served prior to the dance, and this can be bought at a price of $5 per couple. After the prom is over at 11 p.m., couples will travel back to the Paxton Theater for a midnight showing of the movie titled The World's Greatest Athlete, starring Jan Michael Vincent and John Amos. An early morning breakfast rounds out their evening of fun. The PHS prom starts once again tonight, beginning at 8 p.m. at the Rantoul Moose Lodge.
The voters of the Paxton School District turned down a proposed 40-cent increase in their tax rate last Saturday by a narrow margin of 33 votes. This referendum was the third to be turned down by voters since last October. There were a total of 2,042 votes in this latest election. The final tally showed 1,028 opposing votes and 995 favorable votes in the polling. The Paxton Board of Education has already tried to cut the current budget by doing away with several of the teaching positions now held. All sports and extracurricular activities look to be in jeopardy also, as there may not be enough money around to finance them for next year. However, it is still undecided by the board as to what they will do to combat these problems, and the people in the Paxton area will have to wait and see with what the board comes up with.
It's 62 degrees. It's 5 minutes after 9 o'clock, and it's time now for the program that we call around here Mustang Reflections, with news and views from Paxton High School in Paxton, Illinois. Also had reports that there was a recent article in the Paxton paper that was written by someone who's from Paxton who mentions my name. It's not true. Whatever is in the article, it's not true about me. The final edition of Mustang Reflections, brought to you this morning, as always, by the First National Bank in Paxton, and also Rose's Market. Here's your reporter, Big Jim.
If that story's about you, Sam, I'd have to say that it's not true. Good morning, and welcome once again to Mustang Reflections, the show from Paxton High School that tells you what's going on in the halls at PHS. I'm Jim Reppert. We'll be telling you some news and playing some good music for you during the next 25 minutes. So why don't you sit back and relax and listen to our last broadcast this year. Peter Frampton starts off the program this morning with Show Me the Way. Commencement exercises at Paxton High School took place last night in the gym. About 120 seniors received their diplomas. The annual program rounds out their high school days. After the seniors marched up the aisles marching to the traditional pomp and circumstance, the invocation was delivered by Reverend Richard McGuire. Senior class president Brian Mikeworth welcomed the audience and introduced the 5 senior speakers for the evening. Sue Vandiver, Lori Watkins, and Cindy Thompson spoke, and then the PHS band played a musical selection. After the musical interlude, the remaining 2 speakers, AFS student Jacques Bitzler and Jim Reppert, delivered their messages to the crowd. Wayne Newald of the Paxton Post 150 of the American Legion presented his organization's awards to Sue Vandiver, Brian Funk, Melanie Frichtel, and Doug Newald. Paxton School Board members Don Brinegar and George Lazar handed out the diplomas, along with PHS Principal William Wiley and Superintendent Lawrence Eggleston. Our best wishes to the class of 1976 at Paxton High School in their future. We don't have the formalities of graduation in my country. This was said by AFS student Jacques Bitzler when asked about completion of high school in his native country of Luxembourg. Jacques says that after the last day of school, however, there is a celebration, much like here, for 3 days. There are parties everywhere, but I imagine that graduation night right here at PHS will be much the same from what I have heard. Jacques will leave Paxton on July 5th. He and other AFSers will begin a short tour of the eastern part of the U.S. by bus. Then, after the tour, he will leave New York City by plane and arrive in his homeland around July 15th. Bitzler also expressed his feelings about leaving Paxton High and the United States. The people here have been very friendly, and I will miss seeing them every day. But I still have this summer, and I hope to see them then. I have enjoyed my school year, but I am looking forward to summer. Well, this is our last Mustang Reflections show of the 1975-76 school year here at Paxton, and it's my last show also, as I graduated along with the class of 1976 last night. I've had a lot of fun doing the show for the past 3 years, and I want to thank the station along with Paxton Merchants for making the show possible for the last 4 years, and we hope it comes back on next fall. Now speaking for everyone at PHS, this is Jim Reppert. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast, and we also hope that you'll tune in again next fall when Mustang Reflections comes back on the air. Until then, take good care of yourselves and have a great summer. So long, everybody.
Mustang Reflections has been brought to you, as always, by these community-minded sponsors, the First National Bank in Paxton, and also Rose's Market in Paxton, Illinois. As Jim mentioned, that ends this edition of Mustang Reflections for the year. As there were the seniors and graduated last night, and school has been dismissed from Paxton.
That's very true.
That's very true.
Yeah.
We also understand that, you didn't know this, but we had a tape recorder going on at Paxton after the graduation ceremonies. You didn't know this. And
During the graduation?
No, after graduation. When everybody had got their diplomas and everybody was in the hallways doing this. And I didn't see this, but somebody mentioned this to me, and they taped your reaction.
To what?
After you graduated.
My reaction to what, Sam?
No, just that you graduated. Are you ready for this?
No, I'm not, but I'll hear it anyway.
Here is Jim Reppert.
Reppert. You always says up my name.
After the things you said to me about that paper, why not? No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
Everything I said was not true.
Everything was not true. Okay. Now, this is the actual Big Jim's voice about 20 minutes.
My voice.
About 20 minutes after graduation.
No, 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes. Oh, well, you know.
5 minutes. Who cares?
Who cares? Here's Jim Reppert's...
right. You didn't hear that.
Oh, well, you know, today's the last day. Here it is. This is Big Jim.
It's not very funny, see?
It's not very funny. I didn't think so either. Well, that's it.
Shows your kind of humor.
Yeah, right. Sick.
Sick.
I also read Mad magazine and...
Any other kind of sleazy magazine?
Oh, I look at Playboy occasionally.
The articles, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. The articles. Very educational. Very educational. Well, this is WRTL in Rantoul.
Too, but we won't talk about that.
We won't talk about the pictures.
No,
Leaves nothing for the imagination. It's 9:34, and it's time now for the area town crier of the announcements of what's happening this weekend around East Central Illinois. First of all, we have the Country Cousins Square Dance.